not have that she needs to have to change this dynamic from destructive to constructive?
I think what she needs is to feel like she has control over her own emotions and over what happens when she's starting to get emotional. She's feeling like they're trying to put, the top of the pan handle on there, and it's just blowing up. And she just needs her space. She wants to feel listened to. And it doesn't justify her behavior whatsoever. If she's acting out or acting inappropriate, that's not appropriate. But I think clearly it's not working to take her phone away in the middle of a heated argument.
Here's exactly what happens. I'm going to draw something for you that a picture's worth 1,000 words. So let me tell you what happens here. You're in a situation, Taylor, where you're kind of going along here, everything's kind of smooth, and then it starts getting kind of bumpy, and you come to a point in the road, and this point in the road has got to be something that you identify that is your first cue that you're starting to go into meltdown. It's where it's something in your body or it's something in your mind that is the first thing that you can learn to recognize that tells you this is getting ready to go bad. Is there something that you recognize first that you can tell that this anger is starting to well up inside? Do you know what it is?
I fidget a lot.
You what?
I fidget a lot.
And how do you mean fidget? Your hands?
My hands, I like to tap my foot. I just think, I sit on the edge of my bed, I tap.
Okay, so when you do that, you're starting to...
Yeah.
Okay, then if that's your first cue, see, everything has, every chain has a first link. Okay, so at that point, when you recognize this, it's gotten really rough, and then this starts. And maybe this is just thinking, or maybe you've heard something in the other room or whatever, but you get here, this is your first cue. That can either be a cue for a meltdown, or it can be a cue for a coping sequence. But this is a choice point for you right here. And at that point, you've got to say, okay, this is my first cue. I can either go down and just get into some kind of a meltdown, or I can start a coping sequence. I can start to cope. And at that point, you have to know what that first step is. And it has to be well learned, and it has to be so automatic. It's what, as I've been a pilot all my life, it's what we call the bold face. Whenever you're in an airplane and something goes wrong, like an engine catches fire, or you run out of gas, or something falls off that's not supposed to fall off, well, nothing's supposed to fall off, something falls off, there's a placard on the instrument panel that's called the bold face. These are the first 6 things you do before you do anything else. Boom, 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 boom. You do these or you die. It's just that simple. That's the bold face. And that's what you have to have, is this coping sequence. So when you hit here, this can be a cue for coping, or it can be a cue for meltdown. And if you had learned that coping skill, just like any other skill, like skating, if you learned that skill really well, would you do it?
Of course.
If you knew what it was, and you knew how to do it, would you do it?